Hello, this is Mark Dextor, or Howard Rimmer, as many of you will know me. Welcome to Red Dwarf TV.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
I'll sit anywhere.
How's it going? Having a nice morning at Norcon?
Yes, very definitely. Nice big room, bigger venue than the last time I was here, which was the hotel, of course. So,
Of course.
So yeah, it's great. And a big place like this is great. Although it can be busy, and there's still a lot of room to move around, which is great.
Absolutely, and just a little plug about Norcon. I mean, it's grown massively since since who's been here, almost every, well, not almost every year, but as many as possible. There's a quick show of hands. But who's been here at Norcon before? So, there's a lot of people. Excellent.
Some serious contenders over there want attention.
Okay.
Over there.
Hiya. Oh, look at you.
Steady on.
Am I on?
Oh.
You're on.
Am I on?
Do you want to borrow this?
Yeah, I'm fairly new to the convention scene, but this one gets talked about all over the country. About you go to Norcon, oh yeah, you'll be all right there. You'll be all right there. Nudge, wink, wink. And I can see why. There's a sea of people.
Well, let's get stuck straight into it then. Of course, we've got you under the kind of umbrella of Red Dwarf. Which is, I'm guessing, what a lot of... Any of you guys know Red Dwarf at all? Just get a cheer. Okay, there we go.
There's a question I want to ask the audience.
Oh, please, yes.
Has anyone actually seen episode 1 of series 12?
Yes!
What's it about? I've forgotten, because we did it, we recorded it in early 2016, so I can't really remember, so I'm looking forward to Thursday when it goes out.
And it was filmed, the latest 2 series have been back-to-back, haven't they? Filmed all in one go.
Back-to-back over the winter of 2015-2016, yeah.
I was very fortunate enough to see you guys. I can't remember which episode, which one it was called. It was one of the ones from the last series, and it was. Anyone else anyone's been to see Red Dwarf being filmed at all? We've got a hand down there. We've got a couple. Oh, yeah, a couple. It's wonderful to see it.
Wonderful to see 4 actors under a lot of pressure to try and get the lines right in a scene that they'd been given about 25 minutes earlier. But that's all part of the challenge, isn't it?
That's part of the charm and the challenge. So I'm just gonna just quickly. I'm just gonna speak to Mark. One thing which I'm quite interested in is that you've played a couple of prime ministers.
Well, yeah, I mean, God, in his infinite wisdom, decided on the day of my birth that he was going to turn me into somebody who resembles not only David Cameron, but Chris Bloody Barrie as well. So I've been Prime Ministers and his brother for the last few years.
And hopefully not Theresa May.
There is no limit to my skill, Chris, as you know.
I might be asked to play a 3rd Prime Minister on tomorrow afternoon at some point.
I was about to say, could you be our Prime Minister?
I'm available.
And a very quick plug actually. So Transformers is coming out soon.
Transformers the last night I think is streaming next week, and it's available on DVD from that point on as well. Yeah, for those of you who ain't seen it, it's pretty good. There's lots of explosions for those of you who enjoy that kind of thing.
And talking of explosions, it comes straight back to Red Dwarf as well, and the kind of madness which is the Dwarf. Had you watched Dwarf before?
Yeah, I mean, I came to the show as many people in this room. I've been a fan, sorry about this, Chris, but I've been a fan of the show since I was a tiny child. He doesn't like it when I say that, but so, yeah, I mean...
Are you trying to make me feel ancient again?
No.
Well, you succeeded.
Yeah, I mean, I was asking any of these guys, would they like to be on the show? That was basically my experience of it. You know, Chris has been a bit of a hero of mine. I don't like to say that too much either. Since I was, a student, So to join the crew was it's like becoming the fifth Beatle for a week. It's quite a thrill. Not that much of a thrill, but
well, steady on. Yeah, no, Mark was absolutely brilliant. It was actually my favourite scene from series 10. That was the introducing you to my fearless flight captain, of course, and.
I believe that's when I call you an utter twat.
What other actor can get sort of 4 syllables into the word twat? Yeah?
I mean, we're trying to be Blue Peter here in the family show, but I do apologise, young viewers. Just put your fingers in your ears. We're talking about Red Dwarf here. But I mean, I just want to go back and be a little bit of a fan. And have to say that I used to watch yourself on the British Empire, and I watched. Fantastic! Thank you so much.
Do we have people in today from the centre? There we are. Yeah. Well, do you know, we had a reunion earlier this week, and although nothing may appear to be happening in terms of some new British, which I'd like, I don't know about you.
I think we wouldn't we?
Yeah, it's the most popular question I get, even at a sci-fi convention. You know, is will any more British be over? And reverting to myself,
it's Richard Fegan, sort of one of the original writers who's working hard to sort of maybe try and get some new British going, is still working extremely hard to do that. And but he wants to get it absolutely right before anything is committed. So,
well, if they can bring porridge back, which they just did, they can certainly bring back the British Empire, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Absolutely. I was doing a bit of research for this as well. I did decide to go and buy the DVDs because I just forgot that you could go and get it. And I've been there's a few times it's been on TV, but in buying the DVDs and watching it all again, it just brings back such a lot of memories. And one thing though, I mean, he's a bit of an arse, isn't he? But he means so well. Like, he's just a wonderful character.
I've cornered the market in arses. I did for a while, anyway. Well, he is. You're right. He means so well. He just doesn't really quite know how to do it. He sort of does it literally by the book, and of course that leads to a few problems. Someone asked me a very interesting question earlier on, and that's if Rimmer and Brittus were in the same room, alone, together, which one would sort of crack first? Which one, which one would resort to violence? It was a very interesting question. I think because Brittus is all full of love. I mean, he would never crack the violence. Whereas Rimmer has got this sort of space core training, and eventually he would succumb and probably land one on Brittus because he's just wasting his time talking to this oik. So it's very interesting if they were in the same room. It got me sort of thinking.
He probably would land a few punches, wouldn't he, after a while?
Well, yes, I mean, they couldn't sit there and talk forever. Something would give somewhere along the line, one of them, Rimmer might commit suicide.
That's outrageous.
Rimmer will be the one we would crack.
But by the way, we will have questions. If you do have questions, then I mean you can put your hand up immediately if you want. I've got hundreds of questions here. I don't know whether you guys have been here before. I've got these questions, which are questions of doom. So if you don't ask questions, I'm going to ask these questions, and they are awful. They are. I mean, they're also awful, but hopefully amusing as well. But just very quickly, have we got any questions out there?
Have we got any questions out there?
I spy.
Okay, brilliant. Straight up there, great. We don't need to use these then for the moment.
Sorry. This may sound like a lame question, but can you still do your Ace Rimmer voice?
Yes, he can.
Can you still do your Ace Rimmer voice?
Yeah, that one's not too difficult. Just instead of basically Rimmer's sort of weaselly kind of thin voice, you just sort of go down a few octaves and try and sound a little bit like a cross between Sean Connery and maybe Roger Moore without the Scottish accent. And sometime you're just about there. Smoke me a kipper. I'll be back for Christmas. Breakfast.
So, technically, when Daniel Craig does give up 007, ace rimmer for James Bond, really?
Well, I feel a little bit miffed that they've bypassed me already, buddy. Maybe next time, who knows?
There were some other arms that went straight to the back there. I've chosen you now. Why don't you put your arm up very high and wave at me like this? Hiya!
Wonderful.
Hello, how are you doing? Chris, you were born in West Germany. What was it like growing up over there at that time?
I was born in West Germany in a service family. So we actually left West Germany almost sort of weeks after I was born, unfortunately. But we returned to West Germany in 1967 when I was 7, and I went to a sort of army school then from the age of 7 for about a year. And you know, I don't remember much about that year, but it was growing up in a sort of garrison, if you like, was. It was pretty much like growing up anywhere, you know, in England, really. Because obviously most of the people I came into touch with were people of the British Army. You know, Germany was a very ordered country, very clean, ordered country at the time, and it was an interesting time. Yeah. Any more than that, I can't really say. I was rubbish at school though. I mean, I went to so many different schools when I was young that I sort of, when I eventually got to the school I was at for my, you know, what became my O-levels and A-levels, I had a bit of catching up to do. So yeah, that's the downside of multi-school education.
Fair enough.
That's rather tedious talks, really, but I hope I answered your question.
That's right. Would you say some of your characters are based on some like bumbling officers?
Well, do you know, I think the military aspect of my upbringing, although I've never been in the armed forces, I was not a naval cadet, I was an air cadet actually for a while. And I think that the military aspect, my father obviously was a career military man, and interfacing with a lot of those people might have given me that sort of Rimmer-esque kind of stature and the like.
You have always had a very straight back, Chris.
Yes, I know. Well, yes, one has to try and keep a straight back at all times. So yeah, I think it did to a certain extent. Yeah.
Lovely. Oh, we've got more hands are going up now. Go for it. The hands. Fantastic. Thank you.
Could you do me a river salute, please?
Well, go on then, Mark. You can do it.
I've tried, but I can't do it.
What can you teach?
It's a sort of a wobbly arm thing, and then a sudden jerk.
You're resorting my artistry to a wobbly arm thing.
No, it's a well-crafted wobbly arm.
I know the river salute. So
I want to learn this as well. Maybe all of you can get up and we can all learn this.
So it's 10 to 2 feet, and then it's as if you're going to do a very naughty salute that we should never really do, and certainly never get photographed at the wrong moment. So you sort of go up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, longest way there, and then shortest way down.
5, not 4, not 6. 5.
3, you can do a quickie, which is a 1, 2, 3, up, down, like that. Or you can do an incredibly long one. How long have we got?
20, 30, 40 minutes.
I mean, it's like conducting an orchestra, and then just when you think it's going to end, you sort of take it away again and go down here, and then you keep going.
Do.
So something along those lines. I hope that's there you go. You've got every version under this under.
Thank you. We had some more questions over. Yes, pick and choose. Oh, okay.
Hi there, question for Chris. Any advice on comedic voice acting?
Sorry, any advice on
comedic voice acting?
Comedic voice acting? I think mimicry is kind of a knack, really.
I remember your spitting image days.
Yes, of course. Yes. Oh no. I think it's comedic voice acting is all about, sort of doing different tones. You see, oh yes, I want to go. Oh no, you do that. So I don't know. It's just doing stupid voices and getting your throat into different sorts of positions to do this and the other. And then, listening to accents from around the world and people, all sorts of people, we can all do one impersonation. But it's kind of just a knack, really, and coming out of your shell and doing all that sort of stuff, and then sort of doing your S's in different sorts of ways. Like when you're doing David Beckham, he's got a slightly sort of strange little S sound like that, and there we go. That doesn't really probably help you at all, but I hope you know what I mean.
It helps being Chris Barrie, it seems. Good piece of advice.
Can you do any impressions, Mark?
I can't. You say everyone can do one person. I can do my dad. That's about it.
Look at David Cameron. Visually.
Anybody vaguely prime ministerial, I can do.
We've got some questions over here. Oh, we've got them loads.
That Lister is a god to the cat people.
Next. Hi, Doug. I'm on stage now. Yeah. It's a very difficult question about the cat people and all that. You'll get back to us. Okay. Yeah. Doug says he'll get back to us.
Next question.
We do get questions like that, which are all to do with the plot and the Red Dwarf storylines and stuff. And yeah, I mean, A, it goes back a long way, and B, probably at the time I was sort of scratching my head a little bit when we recorded it. But yeah, Rob and Doug know everything Red Dwarf.
What's your favourite series?
Oh, the Red Dwarf series?
Yeah.
Oh, each series to me has its own kind of flavour, so it would be quite difficult to pick one, that was my favourite. 10. Apart from 10, I think they're all good.
I like number 11.
Do you like 11? Okay, well, no, 11 has great. Twentica was an Officer Rimmer, of course. I eventually made it, for a very short period of time. But I think it's quite difficult, really, to pick out one series. Obviously, there was one series I wasn't in that much, which was, I think it was 7. But even that had a few little highlights, and some of the other stories were great, and I regretted not being in some of them, to be honest with you. So yeah, tricky one, really. Tricky one. I will not answer that completely by saying they're all my favourite series.
Me too.
Good. We haven't got a massive amount of time left, so if you've got some quick, sharp questions that we can kind of run around with, that would be great. Otherwise, we'll resort to the questions of doom.
Just a couple of quickies, kind of linked. What's your favourite voice to do, and is there anyone you want to do but can't?
Voices, impersonations. Well, the one I always resort to is one of my first ever impersonations was Kenneth Williams, you see, because I had the nostrils for it, you see, so it's easy to do. Of course, David Goldman was quite fun as well. Good morning, everyone. The Richie Benno. Of course, most of these people have moved on to the great showbiz and sports studio in the sky. But they were, that was my sort of halcyon period in the spitting image days. Anyone I can't do? I can't do this man. Anyone? With some of the sort of, back in the day when we were doing spitting image, I mean, some of the blander newsreaders were a bit tricky. No one ever really wanted to do Jon Snow.
Just can't do bland. I mean, I try.
Well, no, I think there's some people out there who can do it, but, it was always nice to have something to hang the impersonation on. So, No, I'll settle with the Snows. John and Peter Snow. Peter Snow was a bit easy, because he had the swing on water, and of course the swing to the Tories would be the swing. He needed to win these seats over here. So I think it was someone else did that eventually, but as you can see. But yeah, if I can't do someone, I just sort of, wait. Just wait for something else to come along.
For somebody else to host the News at 10.
Exactly. Along.
Got some questions down here from a couple of maggots.
What's your favourite comedy moment from any of the Red Dwarf series?
Mark, do you have a favourite comedy moment from any Red Dwarf series?
Any.
They're all my favourite moments.
Diplomatic. Have you got a favourite moment within Red Dwarf? I mean, the kind of short time that you were there. Have you got a?
Well, my favourite episode is Legion. I'm fond. I like James Bond movies, so I like it when the villain, before he kills you, he invites you for dinner. So I think that's why I like Legion. But no, I mean, I really do like them all. I mean, it's a good show, and the standard has been kept high since the very beginning. So it's actually hard to pick a favourite. I mean, I know that you say this kind of thing a lot, but it is actually true. I've got lots of favourites. Yeah.
It's difficult to pick a favourite moment, or a favourite scene. I don't know whether the guy's going to ask a question now. Oh, you're there. I mean, one of my favourite moments was waiting to come on when Crichton was in Polymorph, when Crichton was trying to get Lister's boxer shorts off, and I was sort of waiting to come on, but the audience were just going absolutely berserk. There was no right moment, but the great thing about the show, which is why I keep going back to it, is the writing is so good that it's just full of moments like that.
Wonderful. We got we've got time for one more question. I know that this guy had a question down there. I saw you.
Chris, is there any particular one episode of Red Dwarf that stands out for you, that when recording you had loads of fun recording the episode?
Trojan. Trojan, yes, definitely. No, apart from Trojan, which easily is by far away my favourite episode.
It's certainly my favourite as well.
I think Dimension Jump, the first appearance of Ace, which was great fun, It was a good wig as well. It sort of looked like hair. I know that sounds silly, but some wigs don't look like real hair, do they?
That was a good wig.
That was a good wig. That wig, I could walk down the corridor, people actually would think I was a different person. Paul Jackson, the producer, walked past me and just sort of went, usually he sort of says, "Hi Chris, how's it going? How's the show going?" But this time he walked past. And then he saw me later on and went, "It's you! Because with hair." Yes, exactly. Instead of my sort of usual, sort of slightly knotty fuzz head, it was proper hair that sort of bounced like real hair, So, but it wasn't just that. It was the first introduction of Ace, again with Rimmer, with normal snakehead Rimmer, and the juxtaposition of them was quite exciting to do.
Okay, unfortunately I'm going to have to wrap this up. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you two on the stage. Thank you so much. And of course, if you have any more questions, then please go and see them at their tables. They are over in the far corner, the furthest corner, just over there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Thank you very much.
And yes, and please give it up for the boys from the Dwarf. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.